This is the Carl Miller Show, where we talk about all things real estate, financial investments, and getting into a home you love. With over 15 years of experience, this is your host, Carl Miller.
Tips for smart gardening with Gary Gardner III and the first year after closing, a new homeowner's guide. This show is for you. If you're a homeowner or an aspiring homeowner, thank you for tuning in. I'm Carl, your host, the principal broker at Carl Miller Realty. We are Lynchburg's first certified full-service professional brokerage, and we're located at 7700 Timberlake Road in Lynchburg. We are your caring, competent, trusted advisors for real estate sales. I'm in a network, too, of the best agents in the United States and Canada who operate with skill and with a relational approach to meeting housing needs. So whether relocating to or from Central Virginia, or if you've inherited a house outside of Lynchburg and don't know who to call, we've got you. Couple of updates. The Freedom 424 5K Run for Their Lives fundraiser for the organization is coming right up Saturday, April 18th. And that will be at 9 o'clock a.m. It's at the Liberty University Indoor Track and Natatorium. Now, the race is outside. It's not an indoor race. But there's a kids' run the night before on Friday the 17th. You can learn more about that race and register at freedom424.org. That's the number 424. Freedom424.org. Carl Miller Realty is sponsoring that event. We'd love to see you out there that day and stop by and register to win a free pair of running shoes. We have our annual shredding day coming up. So if you've got some papers, some documents, some confidential tax returns that are more than, 7 years or 3 years old, and you want to shred those confidentially and not pay the fee, we have a commercial shredding truck set up at our office on April 24th. And you're invited. Come take advantage of the community shredding day that we're doing. We started this event for our clients, but as a listener of this show, we'd love to see you come out and take advantage of the opportunity we have at our office at 7700 Timberlake Road. April 24th, that's a Friday, anytime between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m., and we will have coffee from Roll Brew. That's a local mobile coffee truck, and we have donuts. Sierra is hooking us up all with donuts, so come on out and say hi to us. We'd love to meet you and just tell our staff that you met us, you heard about that event on WLNI. One other event that Carl Miller Realty is sponsoring is coming up just right after that, and it's the first Saturday in May, the Twisted Trail 10K. It's a trail run at the New London Trails Tech Center, and that is a 9 o'clock a.m. race. Now, that's a trail race, and traditionally, the Blue Ridge Trail Runners put this race on, and it's typically been in July, and they have moved the date to May. I'm kind of disappointed because, Anthony, that was the hottest day of the year type of race in July or August, and now the trail runners have gotten a little wimpy on us, and they moved it to May, and it's a 10K, but
that's the stance you're going with?
That's the stance I'm going with. They took away the tradition of being the hottest race of the year, but it'll be a good day, and actually it'll be much more comfortable. You will definitely work up a sweat. Those trails, that's not an easy race. I've run it a number of times, and it's if you want to get out and do some trail running, come on out. You can just Google Twisted Trail 10K Lynchburg. You'll find it. The run sign-up registration form is there. We're also sponsoring that race, and once again, we'll be giving away a free pair of running shoes. So two trail race, one trail race, one road race. We'd love to see you out at those events. We like to stay healthy and stay running, so come on out. I want to thank our sponsor this month, actually for 3 months, and that's Gary's Garden Center. Curb appeal is the real deal. The team at Gary's Garden Center is always happy to help you make that first impression a great one as you have guests or just for yourself, just a beautiful home. If you want a quick pop of seasonal color, if you want to spruce up your flower beds, refresh your landscape, get lawn care advice, or just simply enjoy some fresh spring air, visit Gary's Garden Center. Just picture vibrant flowers blooming, majestic trees providing shade, and lush greenery that greets your guests with warmth at your home. You can get all of that, along with friendly service, expert advice, and a beautiful selection at Gary's Garden Center. They're located at 794 Leesville Road. You can also visit Gary'sGardenCenter.com. And we will meet there.
It's time for a new featured listing from Carl Miller Realty.
All right. We have a featured listing at 675 Pokemon Road, and that is in Evington. This home is priced at just $205,000. It's a 1,344 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath on 2.3 acres. just minutes outside of Lynchburg. The primary suite in this home features an ensuite bathroom with a skylight and a whirlpool tub. Living room has a gas log fireplace, built-in shelving. Skylights brighten the kitchen. There's new floors that were just installed a couple years ago. Great house. This home is listed, again, for just $205,000. It won't last long. There's a new water heater, newer heat pump, newer flooring. Check it out. You can visit carlmillerrealty.com and ask for Kathy. Well, we have Gary Gardner III in the studio with us again today. And speaking of our sponsor, Gary's Garden Center. And so, Gary, welcome back to the studio.
I think it's good to be back.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, it is amazing what all you got going on over there at that nursery. I drove by it just yesterday, and I was like, wow, you got a lot of amazing plants in selection over there in stock, it looks like right now.
Yeah, for sure. We've been busy the last week or two. I think this past Wednesday, we had 4 trucks just on Wednesday, 4 deliveries. Everything from summer annuals to the vegetables, the herbs, the house plants, even the first of our hydrangeas for the spring. So we've just been busy bringing all kinds of good plant material in.
I just looked at a listing this week, and one of the things that just struck me as I drove in was just how beautiful that home's landscaping was. Now, it was a simple brick ranch over in the Brookville School District off Timberlake Road, and a house will be coming on the market here shortly. But wow, when I went in there, it was just like you see the landscaping and you're just like, wow, it just pops. It makes a house look so much better when there's good greenery and good landscaping and good plants. And that's what you do. You just add a lot of color and joy and life to a home. And so there's a lot we could talk about, but let's focus on a couple things. Let's talk about gardens and ways that people can save on their grocery bill by growing a garden. Talk about that a little bit, because I know it's work, but it's also fun for people to get out there and dig in the dirt a little bit. And
in the last few years, anything edible has become really popular. People are wanting to grow their own food to save on the grocery bill and to just have fresh, good food.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things I would tell people, as far as if you're doing it for the economical, practical side of things, is to keep it simple.
Yes.
If you're into the science side of it all, go for it, enjoy that. But if you're just doing it to try to save some money and have some fresh vegetables, digging a hole in the ground, you're not going to find a better way to grow a garden than to just dig a hole in the ground.
Yeah.
Put just a little bit of fertilizer. You don't need a lot of fertilizer.
Yeah.
We see people over-fertilize, especially like a tomato plant. It can't grow and produce at the same time.
Yeah.
And so that would be my number one tip, is to keep things simple.
Yeah.
Raised beds can be helpful if you have a hard time getting down or what have you like that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, a garden grown in the ground is by far and away going to be the most productive garden.
Yeah.
And then also think about what's most expensive at the grocery store. People like green beans, but in general, they're fairly cheap at the grocery store, whether you're buying fresh or a can. Things like tomatoes, they get costly quickly. Cucumbers, peppers, some stuff like that, squash, zucchini, they get expensive quick, but there's something that's fairly easy to grow in just a home garden.
Yeah.
And then the other thing would be herbs.
Yeah.
When you think about how expensive herbs are in the grocery store, most of our herbs are $9.99 for a 6.5-inch pot. Get 2 or 3 pickings off of that, and you've already more than got your money back.
No doubt.
And so herbs is a quick way, and then take that even a step further. Dry some of those herbs, especially at the end of the season. Things like basil that are not perennial. Basil won't come back every year, but at the end of the year, before the first frost or freeze, take it off, hang it up somewhere in the house where it gets good airflow, let it dry, and then you've got dry basil for the winter.
Great tips. You're bringing me back to my days as a kid when my mom, she literally had a half an acre and she canned everything. So tomatoes and corn and green, and we would just can. And I remember as a kid just feeling like I was being tortured by the labor of the garden. But I tell you what, there's nothing better than garden fresh picked out of your own garden, out of your own ground, in your yard. And it's nutritious. Our soil is very nutritious. To your point, you can do fertilizer, but it's amazing what grows if you just plant it.
Yeah, absolutely. I grow a garden of myself. It's about a 20 by 30 garden, and I just enjoy doing it. And you cannot beat a homegrown tomato.
Yeah,
that's like one of life's simple pleasures that you can't beat.
That's it.
So yes,
that's it.
Yeah.
I always enjoyed the fresh onions and the potatoes coming out of the dirt too, and fresh carrots. Oh my gosh, like that was always that's my favorite as a kid. Those root plants. But yeah, that's fantastic. Let's talk about a problem that seems to be very prominent here in Lynchburg, and it's not just Lynchburg, but that's deer. Deer seem to eat things just everything they seem to eat. The stuff that doesn't grow naturally in the woods. What are you seeing? Like, what can people do about the deer situation in and around Lynchburg?
Yeah, you're saying that they eat everything. It certainly feels like that.
Yeah.
And I tell people that I basically don't call anything deer proof anymore.
Yeah, okay.
There are some things, however, that I would call deer resistant.
Okay.
And so people are kind of shifting what they plant and how they plant it. Roses are a good example. Deer love roses. They like the blooms. They usually won't eat back into the thorny part.
Oh, yeah.
But they like the fresh new growth. They like the bloom. But people have started planting things like lavender around rosemary, that type of thing around their roses that act more as a deer repellent.
No kidding.
Things. Yeah. And so that's what a lot of people have started doing, is being a little more strategic in what they plant and how they do it. And the other thing, and of course, most people know about the deer repellents, the sprays, or there's one called, it's like little deer, it's a deer off product, but it's little canisters, and it's basically dried blood is what it is, but it doesn't give off the odor like the sprays do. And the other thing, a lot of people, as they've kind of realized it's not as bad as it sounds, but the deer netting, especially around things like roses, hydrangeas.
Sure.
It is a black mesh, but it's so fine that from a distance you really can't see it. And to just basically lightly drape that over, like hydrangeas, for example, that's one of deer's favorite things. To lightly drape it over, but not so tight to where as the bush grows, it'll kind of lift the netting up with it, and not get all tangled up and grow through it.
So Gary's, you sell some of those deer resistant type products or products at your store?
Yeah, we have all the sprays, the repellents, and all that. And then there are still some flowers and things that I feel comfortable, for the most part, saying the deer will leave alone. Vinca and Lantana are two summer annuals that basically we never get a complaint over. And then on the perennial side of things, there are still a fair amount of things that the deer tend to leave alone. And keep in mind, most anything with a fragrance, deer tend to leave alone. So dealing with the deer largely comes down to just being a little more strategic about what you plant, how you plant it, and that type of thing. And you can still enjoy stuff that even the deer tend to eat.
Well, we are in April now, and you were on our show last month talking about March, and you kind of warned people, hey, look, we had some 80-degree days, or 70, but it's not, winter's not over. We could get some cold weather. In fact, I mean, if you're listening to this live, the first weekend in April, more cold weather predicted next week. But so, what's your tips for people right now this time of year? Springtime, cold weather, still warm, cold, but what's your tips for people that want to just get out there and plant everything right now?
Yeah. My tip would be to do just a little bit to kind of cure the spring fever. Ideally, something in a pot that you can easily protect if you need to. Like you said, they've got some cold nights in the forecast this coming week. Whether you just get like a large pot of geraniums that's already ready to go, give you a burst of color, and just set it right inside the door if they call for a cold night. I personally would hold off. We were just talking about vegetables. I personally would hold off until late April, early May before I do any of that type of thing. But most, not all, but most of your perennial flowers, you could go ahead and put a lot of those out. Some of your herbs we were talking about a few minutes ago, you could go ahead and put those out. And you would be okay. But basically, all of your summer annuals, it's still too early to just put them out there and forget about them.
The warning would be frost, right? Doesn't have to get the freezing. Like if it's 35 degrees, would be okay, or
it can be iffy. We can have a frost up to about 37, 38.
That's true. Yes,
we can have a frost.
That's true. Yeah,
and it really varies on what plant we're talking about. Some are a little more tolerant to a light frost than others. But 37, 38 is a good rule of thumb, just to kind of use.
That's a great tip.
To know when to start to protect. Under a carport or front front porch, that would be protected from a frost.
Yes.
If it's undercover.
That makes sense.
And that will usually by a degree or two below freezing. I try to encourage people not to push their luck, but usually undercover like that will buy you a degree or two.
You told me your biggest challenge is telling people not to buy right now. Come back in a week or two, as opposed to buying it now and then having to bring a dead plant back. You say just wait just a little bit more for them. Some of those sensitive plants. Well, if people want to learn more or stop by and see you, you're located over on Leesville Road, right at the intersection of Greenview Drive and Leesville Road. You have a website as well. But any other tips you would give or anything else you would say in parting before we sign off here today?
We've got a email newsletter that goes out to sign up for that, and that gives you tips, monthly tips, and all of what to be doing now. And this April newsletter, we were talking about the different kinds of soils, and a lot of your success in planting starts with the roots and the soil and all that it's in it. And so just to sign up for that newsletter is a great way to stay up to date on not only what we have, but getting a lot of just good information and tips.
Well, Gary, thank you so much for stopping in today and giving these tips. And thank you for sponsoring our show. Best wishes to you and your business and your family this spring. I know it's the busy time of year, so if you're out listening today and it's a weekend live, stop by Gary's Garden Center. Just stop by and say hi. Say hi to Gary Gardner III. I'm sure you'll be around Saturday and you'll be around all day today, and I just hope people stop by and get some good tips from Gary Gardner III and family.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me on the show today.
Thank you, Gary. And when we come back, we're going to talk about a new homeowner's guide, tips in the first year of owning your new house. Welcome back to the Carl Miller Show. I'm Carl, your host, the principal broker at Carl Miller Realty. You can follow our social pages. Sierra, she's our creative director. She puts out fun, engaging content on our Instagram and Facebook accounts. You can go there at Carl Miller Realty and you'll follow us there. Hey, you might learn something new. You'll get the opportunity to interact with us. Maybe there's a real estate question you want answered or a topic you'd like to hear about. I would love to engage with you.
It's time for Carl Miller Realty's Local Stat of the Week.
What is the most expensive house on the market in South Central Virginia in early April of 2026? Well, in markets like the subdivisions of Salt Lake City, Utah, Scottsdale, Arizona, or Orange County, California, there are hundreds of homes that start in the 8-figure mark. However, in April of 2026, our most expensive active listing is less than half of that $10 million price tag. It's located on Falling Creek Road in Bedford. It has almost 7,000 square feet of living space, a beautiful saltwater swimming pool, mountain views, a large workshop. The house has 5 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, and it's on 141 acres. The list price is $4.2 million, and it's listed by Ivy Hill Realty. If you're looking specifically in Lynchburg City, the most expensive home is in the historic district of Cabell Avenue, and this is a 9,700 square foot restored home that was built in 1875. eXp Realty has that listing, and it's listed for just $1.45 million. And if you'd like to see these or other luxury properties, our qualified buyer's agents are available for you today. You can visit carlmillerrealty.com. I'd love to get you into a luxury home. Well below that $10 million price tag of Orange County, California.
That 1.4 just feels like a deal after you hear $10 million.
I was scrolling through some of the listings in Orange County just for fun today. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally, there are homes well north of $50 million. I was looking at one that was price tag of $86 million.
And a $50 million house has got to have, what, like 15 bedrooms, 20 bathrooms?
Not necessarily, no. Some of them are just up on these hills overlooking the Pacific Ocean. So you just imagine you get that Pacific breeze coming in and sunsets every day. But no, I can't imagine. And the taxes in that market is, it's a different level. Let's just put it those people have a net worth.
Your real estate tax to the county every year for a $50 million house has got to be wild.
It's probably more than the highest priced home in Lynchburg.
Probably.
Yeah. Well, and that's just a different. Those people have net worths with a few more zeros behind them than I do. I'll just say that.
They're the people that don't have to worry that it's $50 million, or like it's only $50 million.
Let's go buy a $5 million investment property in Lynchburg. That's a residential single family home. Yeah. Well, I want to talk about the first year after closing, a new homeowner's guide here today. So you close on your new home, a few practical tasks to kind of knock out before you fully settle in. And so let's start with some of the basic stuff. And this is the first thing I'm going to talk about is transferring utilities. Now this should have started before you close, but make sure the utilities are transferred into your name. So this coordinates typically simultaneously with your closing date. Just double check. Make sure the electricity is in your name. Make sure if you're on county water or city water that water and sewer is transferred to you. Sometimes you have to provide proof of ownership. You can usually do that with your purchase agreement, but some localities still require the settlement statement or a possession agreement that you can send to the county or city to make sure that you are the owner. Internet, get that stuff lined up before closing, but in case you forgot, just make sure it's done at the time of closing, right? Immediately after that. Update your address is a second tip. Make sure you submit a forwarding address to your local post office. And by the way, you can do this online now. It's getting easier and easier to do this, but you want to make sure your mail follows you to your new home. But it's also a good idea to keep an eye on your email inbox and your online accounts, because there's going to be subscriptions like your apps on your TV or your billing information or memberships that need to be updated. Magazines don't always get forwarded to your house either. So if you have magazine, like the old school paper magazine subscriptions.
Like a home magazine.
Like a home magazine. Yes, the home magazine. You would want to make sure that is updated to your new address. A great magazine publication of James River Media. We like that magazine. Beautiful, by the way. That last edition was quite cool.
The new one, brand new.
Very much so. Yeah, I just got it the other day in my new home. Actually, start a home emergency fund. This is where owning a home, it comes with a lot of joy, but guys, there's also some unpredictability that happens. You might see a leaky faucet or a surprise repair or an appliance issue that pops up with the washing machine or the dishwasher, right? And these can happen when you least expect it. And so if you haven't already set up a savings account specifically for home-related expenses, be smart and do that. Our own producer had a major unpleasant surprise, a very expensive unpleasant surprise soon after you closed on your new home.
Literally it was the first night I moved in. I wake up the next morning, and that was it was a January where we had like 15, 16 degrees overnight. Yeah. And the pipes had frozen, and thankfully they had burst, but they had frozen over the burst, so it didn't destroy, underneath the house. But that was the main water line, so that was a $5,000 fix to get all the way back to the meter and everything like that. Major
expense, and that's not the kind of new homeowner story that you want to have experienced. But now, guess what? You got a really good story for your kids and grandkids.
Oh, exactly. And now I know what to do if it happens again.
Wow. So hopefully you don't have that problem, but it's not uncommon to have some little surprises, little surprise repairs that pop. So just make sure you have a little emergency fund set aside. Hopefully you don't need $5,000. Ask for trusted local recommendations. You're going to need services in the future: plumbing, roofing, electrical, lawn care, maybe, or painting or renovations. Usually you can ask your real estate agent for a list of trusted local contractors. Having those names handy now can save a lot of stress later. This is important here. Keep your important home documents organized. So after closing, you're going to have a stack of paperwork. You're going to have the closing documents, and you might get to your house and you're going to have warranties from your appliances and manuals, and maybe your insurance agent has given you a big pack of insurance information about your homeowner's insurance, or there's service records having to do with the home you just bought. Keep these items together in one folder. Pro tip, if you really want to go and make sure you never lose them, scan those in, or there's apps on your phone. You can just take pictures and scan them into a PDF and then just store them online. I like using Google Drive, or Google Keep is another document I use quite a bit to keep certain numbers and different things in place in an easy file that I can grab from any phone or any computer. Moving in, when you move in, that's an exciting day. But a couple things to kind of remember that day. Change your locks. You never know how many keys are floating around your neighborhood to the neighbors, or maybe grandma across the town has a key. And not that you would expect that anything bad to happen, somebody take advantage of it. But if you change your locks, you can key all your locks to the same key. It's just a safety thing, and it also gives you peace of mind. And not only you and your family and the people you choose will have access to your house. Take a few minutes to test the smoke detectors and the carbon monoxide detectors. Replace those batteries if needed. Just make sure everything's working. One of those little tasks. It doesn't feel glamorous, but it does matter. Safety is important. Learn the basics of your home. And speaking of safety, make sure you have a fire extinguisher in the house or two. Keep one under your sink or just somewhere where you know where it is on the wall. Just have one. If you don't have one, go get one. One of the smartest things you can do too is locate where your water shutoff valve is, your breaker box, your HVAC system. Speaking of HVAC, get your filter sizes. Know what your intake filter sizes are. So when you order and you can set those up to order those online, or you can next time you're at the hardware store, you can grab those. I like to just put my filter sizes in my phone. Again, I just keep it on Google Keep. And again, I'm just a simple guy, but I know if I forget, I'm at the hardware store. Oh man, I'm gonna get some filters while I'm here. Boom, there you have it. Settling in. When you settle into your new space, like after your boxes are unpacked and the dust begins to settle, that's when it gets really fun. And so you want to make your house feel like home. So one of the things I would say is meet your neighbors. One of the sweetest parts of home ownership is the opportunity to build community. So whether it's just a quick wave at your neighbor from the driveway or a friendly introduction or chatting over the fence, getting to know your neighbors, it's what makes community happen, and it can make your new space feel even more inviting. And the good news is South Central Virginia folks are typically pretty friendly, and they like to meet the neighbors after they come in. So a home maintenance routine, kind of create that. There's some little rhythms that happen with little tasks like changing your air filters or mowing the lawn or cleaning your gutters or check for seasonal upkeep, changing the batteries in your smoke detectors. It's easy to forget some of those things. So if you build a little simple maintenance or chore list and build a routine that works for you and or your household, it's a good thing to do. I like to put recurring appointments in my calendar. So whether you're using Apple Calendar or Google Calendar, you just have a little routine that just pops up a little reminder, and take care of those things on a periodic basis. And then revisit your budget. You might have bought a house and you got a monthly budget in mind, and now you're living there. You might need to reevaluate that. Maybe you notice that some expenses are higher than expected or even lower than expected. That frees up extra room for savings and decorating or future projects. And it does take time to settle in. So just give your new home a little time to feel familiar. That's normal. Owning a home is a big adjustment. It takes a little while to find your rhythm and create routines and make the space fully yours. We are not going to get through this awesome list. I got a few bonus first-year tips that I want to get to, and I also want to talk about looking ahead and creating a running project list. So I'm going to carry this session into next week, and it's a good list. It's worth listening to, and it'll be valuable for you as a new first-time buyer. And if you'd like to get a copy of these lists, just reach out to us. Let us know on social media. We'll send that over to you.
It's time for Carl Miller Realty's Fun Fact of the Week.
We are connected. We've been in the business for years and have built some amazing connections along the way. Our extensive contractor directory, plumbers, handymen, roofers, surveyors, and more. It's ready to help you whenever you need. Just give our office a call and we will point you in the right direction. If you have real estate questions you want answered, call us. Hit up our social media platforms and reach us at Carl Miller Realty. Give us a call. I want to thank our sponsor, Gary's Garden Center. Gary Gardner III was in here today talking about landscaping. Stop by and see them today. They're located at the corner of Greenview and Leesville Road. They're at Leesville Road. They got a greenhouse full of beautiful blooms right now, ready to brighten your day. They've got something for everyone, so stop by and see Gary Gardner III. Let him know you heard about us on the Carl Miller Show. I want to thank you for listening today. We are your local, caring, competent, trusted advisors for real estate sales, and we are here to serve you. I want to wish everyone a happy Easter. Enjoy the weekend, make some good memories, and we will see you next week.